The JLR interview series.
So, it's Friday evening, Friday night actually, and we're at the Peace Express in Soho in London, and I've come down to see an amazing artist who I've seen before, but it's great to see him again. His name is Antonio Forcione, a guitarist from Italia. How are you?
I am good. I'm very well. Obviously, I've been quite heavy scheduled this last week because I've been to rehearsing in Turkey, in Istanbul.
Really?
Then I went to Bulgaria and did a concert in Bulgaria. Then I basically time to come back here and start 5 concerts in a row at the Pizza Express.
Well, I should say that I've just seen the first set, and the music was absolutely amazing. It's a trio, and can you tell us who the other 2 guys you're playing with?
One is Mateus Nova on acoustic bass.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Brazil, the Bahia side.
Okay.
And also there's Jansen Santana, he's on percussion, from Brazil, Bahia also. I've been playing with Mateus for about 10 years now.
Wow.
And Johnson is with a trio of a couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, go on, sorry.
We were supposed to play with quartet tonight, but
really?
Unfortunately, Jen is from Nigeria, in Grenada. She was born here. Her parents from Grenada in Nigeria. Lovely cellist here. Cello's here, you see.
Okay.
And unfortunately, her dad wasn't very well, and she really wanted to leave. Didn't want to leave the dad, so she's there. Okay. So she apologized for not being here with us.
Okay, well that's.
But she's an amazing, cellist.
Well, the 3 of you guys are amazing. I would like to add to the listeners listening that when you say acoustic bass, it's actually an acoustic bass guitar as opposed to the double bass, because I'm sure people would be thinking.
As opposed to the double bass, it's an acoustic, like a bigger acoustic. It looks like a bigger acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's amazing, and so you're playing for a few nights, and I just wanted to ask you a few questions about. First of all, you said you've been to Bulgaria. Are you in the middle of a tour or something like that?
Well, I've been touring for 40 years non-stop, basically.
Did you say 40?
40, yeah, 40, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Non-stop.
You don't even look 40.
I'm a lot older than 40. But yes, I've been from India to Africa to Australia, many countries. I've been about 66. So for the first time, I've counted the countries, about 66 countries I've played. Yeah.
Good grief!
Yes.
And, you mentioned during the gig that because you'll see these have revolved around your travels to different places and stuff. I mean, what inspired you? From the
actually, telling the truth, my travels inspire me, and learning from other musicians, especially. For me, I'm a bit like a sponge. I get things around me and translate into kind of my music vocabulary, and that's what my albums are about my traveling and my inspiration. I mean, I spent in the 80s a lot of time in Spain playing with gypsies. I absorbed a lot from gypsies. Then I met a lot of Indian musicians playing classical Indian, so I absorbed from them too. Then Brazilians. Wow. Then I went to Cuba and absorbing Cuba. The world is a treasure. It's full of treasures, and I find that radio is still scratching things. When you get deep to any culture, you find out there's so much to learn, and that's what I'm trying to do. Basically, I'm always learning.
So, would you say? So your music. What is the thing musically that links it all together? Because there's so many diverse parts of the world that you've been to, and obviously music is a universal language, which would be the easy answer. But is there one particular thing that links music, a beat or
it's my rhythm? Experience probably. I don't play a particular style of music. I don't play music because I want to play a particular style. I am, whatever my technique or whatever my limits or my capability was able to play, I absorb things and then I channel things my way. I did sketches of Africa, but not because I play African music. I'm not. I play music the way I feel it, the way I interpret it, and I just channel it my own way. There's not a theme there. It's not something. No. But Africa really attracted me because perhaps when I was a kid, I wanted to play drums. I'm drawn into rhythm. And still now, I mean, as you can see tonight, I'm always playing with a very highly rhythmical section, like Matthias and Johnson. They provide such an amazing rhythmic landscape.
Which part of Italy are you from?
I am from the southern part of Italy. Very much influenced by the Napolitan and folk music. I was playing folk music when I was 11, 12. I was playing mandolin and old folk Italian music. I played drums for a little while, and I was on tour with my uncle at the age of 13 already.
Right. Is there any links between? Because the south of Italy and Africa is very close. I've been to Tunisia and I've seen that point where you can see Italy. It
is amazingly surprised when you go to kind of a more folkloric music how the link it is between different cultures. There's such a link there. It's quite incredible. I do play in a trio with Sekou Keita on kora.
Kora, yes.
And when he brings some melodies from Africa, I can really transform them into the southern Italian. And we actually sometimes make, it's quite funny how close those things are.
Yeah, do you think it's a lot closer than people might realise or even think?
Yeah. It's like a kind of rhythmical dance. I guess, the world has been very much inspired. Every civilization inspired the other ones, and there was, the instruments that were carried from a continent to another, and redeveloped in a different way. I am just an observer, and I just, breathe all these influences, and I basically make them mine, and I bring them back in my own style.
That's interesting. I spent some of my youth in the Caribbean.
Where exactly?
Trinidad.
Trinidad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, being on that side of the world, just next door to Venezuela.
Yeah.
Although they're in the news at the moment, so we'll leave it there for now. But the music, it's so much overlapping. And again, there's in the south of Trinidad, there's a music called parang, which is quite folky.
Yeah.
Not that similar to say Galician stuff. So it's amazing again, which probably a lot of people outside of the Caribbean not even aware of.
Exactly. I mean, the other day there was a friend of mine, a singer-songwriter, and she was from Mauritius Island, and she has a style also, with the Sega rhythms. I'm completely inspired by those things because they come from the root.
Yes.
And then they're strong. They're quite strong. I studied jazz back in Rome when I was in my 20s. And it's still, there's something about jazz I've learned that's really important when I improvise, knowing harmonically where I am and what to do. But I'm always attracted to those ancient melodies. It really attracts me.
They underpin everything, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. They've got something really powerful. Because when I went to Zimbabwe the first time in Africa, and then I could see them quite close to what they were playing. They were plugging the instruments, and then they were dancing with it.
Yes.
There was a kind of unity into the action. It's not something intellectual that you study and then you play. It's not something you know. It's something you are when you do it. It's different, and that's what really attracted me about it.
I completely think I understand what you mean. It's a feeling, but again, it can be very complex because there's so much counterpoint and stuff going on.
It is. Perhaps it helped me the fact that I was prone to rhythm at an early age, and I've got something I can quite understand easily.
Yes.
What's happening. But I played drums at the beginning. I started as a drummer, and for obvious reason of noise and neighbors, I had to switch into guitar. But my first love was drumming.
Yeah. I want to ask you a couple of things about your guitar playing and Johnson's percussion.
Yeah.
So the first thing I ask you, I couldn't actually see from where I won close to the stage, so perhaps you're using pedals or something. But at some points you made the guitar sound like synclavier type thing. How did you do that? I'm quite sure.
Yeah, there's a little pedal called Pog. This makes it sound a little bit like a steel drums, a little bit like that, and it's just to vary the sound and obviously emphasize a little bit the melody, and just changing the sound. It's something I've chosen very recently.
Oh right.
It's not something I do for a long time. I thought it was a pedal and cuts through a kind of more clearly when I'm with the bass and the drums.
Okay.
Because the acoustic guitar, it tends to be drowned by those powerful instruments like drums and bass. So it'll give you a little bit more power to the voice.
Oh, I feel I'm transported in time here because I remember Pat Metheny saying decades ago about the guitar synclavier because he was playing. I saw him with Jack DeJohnette, Herbie Hancock and Dave Holland.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, it was Jack DeJohnette Parallel Realities.
Parallel Realities, yes, I have that album.
Yeah, me too. And Pat was talking about the fact that Jack plays so loud that he started playing the synclavier to cut through.
Exactly.
I can't believe it. He's dead.
I met Jack DeJohnette. It was really lovely man.
Yeah, yes. And the other thing I wanted to ask is the percussionist. He was playing with one stick, but his left hand was doing all sorts of different things. How
well, you've got to ask him for that. I mean, before music even for me comes creativity.
Yeah,
if you can make it happen and make it work musically, that's fine, but it has to work musically. And plus, when I play, I'd like to think that I'm a little bit of a storyteller.
Yes.
When you travel, you get certain ingredients and you use that vocabulary. So each country has a vocabulary, and I get by. I might have a strong Italian accent, but still I get a little bit of that vocabulary. When it was nice in South Africa when I started playing Madiba's jive. They were a little bit with crossed arms, and at the beginning they're really clapping and they enjoyed it. That's very important to me.
Yeah.
In Cuba, the same thing. I was, a bit skeptical seeing this white guy trying to play. But at the end, I hope, I think I win them over.
Yeah. And what about just this question? You were in Bulgaria earlier this week in the
plane.
Do all different audiences react differently depending on what country?
Yeah, I've been going to Bulgaria the last 15 years, actually. I've got a really nice audience there.
They must have a lot of music there, folk music.
In fact, Bulgarian Voices, I worked about 4 years with the Bulgarian Voices. They're amazing. I was involved in the project trying to arrange folk Spanish flamenco songs with the Bulgarian Voices. That was a bit of a headache to do. But at the end, I had produced some amazing things.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get into these things, get into kind of folk music and trying to make it work. Because there's some connection points of everything in the world, there's some connecting moments. If you leave aside some egos and things like that, you just make... Music is the god. You're only there to play it. But music has to work.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes in this country, we're in England, sometimes we seem to forget there's amazing music from so many different parts of the world because we're so wrapped up in pop culture and all that stuff. Of course,
because also the media is all invaded by this. There's an industry behind it which wanted to keep it that way.
Yes.
There's money involved and interest involved. Therefore, but the world, if you scratch a little bit and forget about money a little bit, you can get really rich about a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, and that's important.
And that's what I'm trying to do. As long as I can have enough to live on and carry on what I do, I find that is successful.
Okay, and I don't want to keep you too long because I know you've got to prepare for your second set. But I just want to ask you a couple of things. So, are you involved in any other projects at the moment?
I'm always involved in different projects. Here, the first 2 nights, I did it with a guitar player, a fellow musician guitar player. He's a great, composer and a teacher. He teaches in Guildford Music School. We've been friends for more than 20 years. I'm writing now a kind of a book, and I needed his help to write a score, to score all my tunes in guitar duo. Then I thought, why don't you come and play with me? So while you're learning those songs, we can play together. And we had the most wonderful time on stage.
So is that would be like an instruction book for?
Yeah, because I've recorded 20 albums to date. So, and there's a lot of people all over the world that are trying to play my tunes, and they're getting really frustrated. So I'm doing some transcriptions for them. So
that's nice. And
I know that some schools like in Germany, in Dresden, they put some pressure on me that I get the book, because there's a lot of people want to play my tunes.
Well, that must be a nice feeling.
It is a lovely feeling. That's what you want to hear when you hit your 60s. You think, okay, it's time to the book now to compile everything, all my work.
Well, I was going to say, I was speaking to a musician just this week. I won't say names or anything, but he was saying to me that a musician, the only way they could leave their mark is by making their own tunes.
Yeah.
You could be you could be one of the best signed men in the world, playing other people's records or touring the world. But if you're not making your own tunes,
I've always been a composer.
Yeah.
In a humble way, I'm saying it. I'm not Bach or anybody like that. But I had this thing of composing since an early age. I enjoy composing, perhaps sometimes more than performing. When you compose something and you think the idea you had, it works, and it's a great reward. It's one of the highest. I mean, when you hear other people playing your song, then it's brilliant. I mean, I would say 98% of my albums are all my songs.
Wow.
I must have done like 2 or 3 covers.
That's amazing. I mean, and also the music, as you saw tonight, the crowd loved it. I mean, your tunes were so punchy.
They're crafted also. They're crafted. I've worked a lot on composition and how they work. And
very enjoyable.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I enjoyed all the different things you've done with the guitars you had. All the, as you say, creativity is the way you put it.
Yeah. I usually have a fretless guitar. I haven't played it tonight, but also, I carry steel string, nylon string, and fretless. That has a more Middle Eastern kind of feel.
I'm just thinking. I don't think I've ever seen anyone.
Yeah, in one of my albums, there's a tune called Indian Cafe. I'm playing it with Trilo Gurtu on drums.
Yeah, I've seen him.
And Kai Card on bass. He did a lot of work with John
McLaughlin. Yeah, I saw Trillock with John.
Trillock with Kai played in my album. Yeah, that Campbell tunes.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Indian Cafe. Okay. Alright, well,
there's a tune inspired by the Alhambra in Spain called the Alhambra. In Granada.
Yes.
It's just called the Alhambra, and Diego Cigala is singing there.
Oh, okay. So again, I have to. Well, look,
this is all.
I've heard some of your.
I've been absorbing so much. Really, I'm in heaven when I absorb it and trying to bring it my own way, and you have a full house.
Yeah.
That means there's something I'm doing. It is going right. I feel very privileged having the audience coming in and paying the tickets.
And enjoying it so much.
Yeah, enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, I think I better say thanks for the quick interview, and what a fantastic and enjoy the next set.
Yeah, it'll be the last set.
The last set of
the last set here in Pizza Express. I've been playing at Pizza Express for 35 5 years, I think 36 years.
Have you seen much changes?
Yeah, there's been some changes. They used to put us up in a flat here for. I used to do a 10 days run.
Wow.
In the 90s also, but it's good. It's lovely. I still have a very devoted audience. The people shouting, "I saw you here. I saw you. I saw you 20 years ago. I saw you 25 years ago." It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I never knew when I left Italy at 23. I had a bag and an old guitar, and I dreamt of basically living off my music. It was an old dream of mine, and I succeeded, so that's good.
Fantastic. And that's another thing. There's so many good musicians that come out of Italy who play, jazz. And again, Italy is probably not a country that's that well known for producing jazz, but they produce some really good DJs actually.
Some great musicians also in Italy. They're fantastic musicians.
Yeah.
Very good musicians, very highly rated, but obviously they are not in that mainstream, or they are not so hooked like Americans in here just to do advertising and things like that. But they are monsters musicians in Italy, really great.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
tasteful.
Honestly, thanks for the interview. Fantastic.
Pleasure.
You're welcome.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.
The JLR Interview Series.